What do you think is the starting point for argumentation? Is it when people disagree or fight? I'm Dr. Steviano, and I'm here to tell you that argumentation is not started by disagreement. This is one of the things in this class that's most confusing to people. Argumentation always starts after lots and lots of agreement. Agreement on what's important, agreement on what matters, agreement on what is worth talking about, and also agreement on what values we share and what things are worth changing somebody's mind over. If you think of argument as something that starts when people disagree, you're getting less than half the picture. But there are some serious motives by the people out there who think argument starts by disagreement. These are the people who run cable news networks and mass media publications. These people want disagreement to be the start of argument because they want it to be perpetual. They want you to always tune in with your point of view to see if the side you know is right has won. They divide things up into two sides, thinking that disagreement is the locus point for argument. It is not. Argument is most effective when there's tons of agreement about what it is that we're trying to do. Another starting point for argument that people don't think about is a question. What do we know about this thing? What do we know about this process? What things do we not know? Now that's a hard question to answer. To try to take inventory of what you don't know would take a long time. Instead of making that long list, what you can do is argue about something, and that'll expose the gaps in your knowledge. If you come up with a claim and you don't know why that claim is true or you can't think of evidence for it, it's time to do research. If there's counter evidence to what you believe, it's time to go look at that research and read it carefully and read it in depth. There's no substitute for reading if you want to be successful at argument. And you have to read things that you're going to hate. You have to read the things that go counter to your beliefs and to your assumptions, the things that you think are wrong. It'll only make your point that much better, or it'll help you change your mind about a point that you might need to change your mind about. But why is it that people think argument starts with disagreement? Why is disagreement the locus here? I think that distinction does a wonderful job of making us believe that truth is factual, objective, and permanent. And it relieves us of the incredibly anxiety-generating idea that we need to change our minds and be responsible when we get new information or when things don't work out the way we expect them to. That's a lot of stress, and it's nice to rely on something like the truth or the facts as something to lean on and say, well, that's all you need to know. Facts don't explain themselves, and the truth is something that should always be evolving. These are things we always have to look into, and we don't want to leave it to corporate media outlets to determine the starting point of disagreement for us. We want to leave it to us and keep an open mind and always be examining information as it comes into us. A wonderful way of doing that is to argue with one another about it in a way that's constructive. But disagreement is the fireworks. Disagreement makes for good TV. Disagreement makes for wonderful clips of angry politicians shouting at one another. It keeps eyes on the screen and keeps money rolling into the pockets of those who finance the corporate news cycle. We don't want to indulge this by saying argument is based on disagreement. Argument can be based on a lot of different things that then might result in disagreement, but it can't be the starting point for argumentation. That starting point, in my view, is art, creativity, and practice. When we're arguing, we're taking a huge risk. We're putting ourselves out there, and we're really saying, hey, if I'm wrong, let me know. Normally, we're not saying that. We're actually saying, I'm right, agree with me. But implicit in that is the idea that if I respect you enough to give you evidence and reasons for my position, and you take those reasons and evidence away, that respect is a two-way door, and it means I should reconsider my position as well, as you shouldn't agree with it. Argumentation is huge risk-taking, and it's a wonderful way to realize what you don't know, and to realize what you could know, and to realize how much more is out there to learn. It's affirming, and it's a practice that's very rewarding, and it's certainly not to correct wrong people into making them right, and it's definitely not, I disagree with you, let's punch each other verbally in the face until one of us collapses. That's what you get from CNN, MSNBC, and Fox. That's not what we should be doing in our society.